Bleach is a story I've never experienced. I've never read it. I've never watched it. I don't know anything about the series. Ichigo, more like Ichino. I don't know who you are. I've been reading manga for many years now, and somehow this series has just slipped through the cracks for me. But then something happened. The YouTube comment section. I got stormed with hundreds of requests telling me to check this series out. And after picking up the 3 box sets from the awesome people over at MangaMart, oh my god, MangaMart is so awesome. If you want to buy manga for really cheap in the States, they are the place to go to. I'll talk about them more at the end. I spent 2 weeks of my life binging through this entire series. This video contains no nostalgia factor, just my first impressions and overall opinions. That's a warning to you guys. You guys might not like what I have to say. It's been over 10 years now since the ending of the series. I've just read through Ichigo's story for the first time. Did I even like it? Let's find out. By the way, this video will contain spoilers for the entirety of Bleach. Our story begins on day 1.
Bleach Chapter 1, Death and Strawberries.
The first chapter of any series is dummy important. It's the starting ground, the first impression. One of the biggest factors of whether or not an individual will continue reading further or just drop and forget about the series completely. Okay, so maybe I lied. The first chapter of Bleach is actually the only piece of Bleach media I've ever consumed. I've already read this chapter before, so I was already a little familiar with the direction that the story goes. Ichigo is an angsty, orange-haired, 15-year-old teenager who can see ghosts. Why is that a thing? Due to that fact, he's able to see this girl named Rukia, who is a soul reaper. She has a job of killing Harlows. These are people who have died and turned into ghosts, but they're evil ghosts. Ghosts that want to kill people. As the chapter progresses, a Hollow attacks Ichigo's family. People are starting to get hurt. Rukia, the soul reaper in charge of killing Hollows, is struggling. She's not doing a very good job. So she comes up with a plan. She gives her powers to Ichigo, who's actually really spiritually strong for whatever reason. And now Ichigo is a soul reaper. And he proceeds to save his family's life.
Okay, and that is the end of the first chapter. Kind of still don't really understand what's going on.
I don't know. I think this is a 7 out of 10. I think this first chapter is pretty all right. The exposition in it is a lot of telling instead of showing, which I wasn't really the biggest fan of. Also, I don't care what any future explanation says. Some of the characters in this moment should not have gotten wrecked by this Hollow. I'm just saying. Anyway, overall though, complaints aside, it was a pretty solid start, and yes, I was hooked to keep going. Good job. Good job. Good job. Awesome work. Awesome work. Agent of the Shinigami arc. Majority of the first and second day were dedicated to reading through this arc, which I loved. There was just this really fun charm to the world that was being established. We got to meet a lot of really dope characters, like Orihime.
Chapter 3 opens up with this girl getting hit by a car. That's peak fiction.
She initially struck me as a dumb girl.
Your arm, what happened? You fall again? No, I was run over.
Who is just in love with the main character, and that's the only purpose that she serves. But she's a lot more than that. But it took a couple of chapters to really understand that fact. I didn't really like her at first. I thought she was kind of okay, and then we found out about her dead brother.
Whoa. So a demon just attacked the house? Well, that was Orihime's brother?
So sorry to hear about your dead brother. He gets 5 big booms. And after this little mini story, I started coming around to really just appreciating this character. She's an awesome inclusion. There's another character that I really liked. His name is Chad.
Okay, so I'm on chapter 7. This dude's name is Chad. Out of all the names they could have given this guy, oh, that's sick. Like a steel beam dropped down, and he caught it. You okay, Chad? Yeah, I'm fine.
This guy is Hispanic, and he's very kind. And he is also Hispanic. He also has a little section of the story dedicated to him where he helps this talking bird. It sounds really absurd, I know, but just go with it. That's what I did. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. Chad was genuinely just one of the coolest characters that had been introduced so far. He ended up becoming my favorite character at the beginning of the story.
Okay, I just finished volume 1, and it's interesting. I like it. Ichigo, Chad, Orihime, and Rukia. Those so far are the only 4 characters I've actually attached onto. All the other ones I've kind of already forgotten about, not gonna lie. Decent cast. It's weird that they're all 15. They don't seem like 15-year-olds at all. I like the premise, but it's really simple. I don't really understand the direction it's gonna go in. And also, Ichigo doesn't really have any overarching goal. He doesn't even really want to do this.
I probably should also take some time to talk about Rukia. I found her to be a really fun addition to the story. She's a really important character, serving as the exposition for Ichigo and the gang. I just wasn't fully sold on her yet. I felt like she was more of a plot device than an actual character. The 4 of these characters are accompanied by even more characters. So many characters. We're not going to talk about them because honestly, they're not really that relevant in terms of the overall story. These characters are just very forgettable. Which honestly brings me to one of my biggest issues with the story of Bleach. There's too many damn characters. Throughout my entire read through, it felt like I was playing this constant guessing game of trying to figure out which character was important and which one was not. Like, who is this guy? Is he actually important? This is Uryu. I think that's his name. When reading through this series, I butchered a lot of people's names, and I didn't mean to. I just don't know who any of these people are, okay? I struggled immensely trying to remember, let alone even say his name. So for the entirety of this video, I just call him the Quincy, because that's what he is. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, Quincy's and Soul Reapers have generational beef. And because Ichigo is now a Soul Reaper, this Quincy hates him. Just absolutely despises him.
I finished the second volume. I'm making a tuna salad right now. Honestly, everything is pretty solid. I'm really excited for when we finally see this Soul Society. I mean, that definitely has to be something that we check out. I think at the moment, Chad is my favorite character. We also got introduced to this new guy with a pretty cool hat. We didn't really get to see enough of him for me to really make an opinion on him yet.
So around like the 20th or like 30th chapter, they started this competition where they're gonna see who could get a higher hollow kill streak, which was one of the dumbest but also coolest things ever.
So last night I continued reading through book 4 and I started book 5, but I realized this is when Bleach, the momentum is here. With the introduction of this new Quincy character. That's what he is, right? And he's really cool. He has like this bow and arrow ability, and he's just been defeating hollows. Apparently Quincy's are also people who defeat hollows, except they just hate them. Like, they don't want to give them any chance at a better life. They're just gonna kill them. I'm really intrigued to see why Quincy's are racist towards hollows and like what that's gonna amount to in the future. They also just hate Soul Reapers. I finished volume 4. I'm halfway through volume 5. Something's just so cool happened to the point where I was just like, I can't have this be an off-screen moment. Oh my God. So a lot of the characters earlier on in the series are starting to actually be able to see the undead, see hollows. And Chad, my favorite character so far in the series, he has a metal arm. That is awesome, dude. Dude, that's so cool. What even is this?
This was the section in the story that like really got me.
What is this? What is she doing? Nice to meet you, Orihime. Our job is to protect you. Yo, what?
Chad and Orihime have powers. That is so sick. The story at this point was pretty simple, but it was shaping up to be something epic.
It is time to lock in with volume 6. Technically, with starting this volume, we have finished 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh my God. We're not even 10% of the way done. We just recently hit the 50 chapter mark. I gotta say, this character at first, I wasn't really liking him, but he's kind of started to grow on me. I'm really liking this Quincy guy. And also, he keeps saying that he's the last one of his kind. I kind of don't believe it. I think there's gonna be more of him.
Rukia got kidnapped. How did that happen? 2 Soul Reapers have appeared from the Soul Society to take her back. She's going to be executed, slaughtered, killed, dead. I think it's a little funny now that I know how the entire story of Bleach goes, that her brother and the dude she ends up marrying or just having a child with is the 2 people who captured her to put her up for execution. Like, isn't that crazy? A little ironic, little hilarious. Weird, just weird when you think about it in retrospect.
We are now on volume 7. Things are cooking, dude. This is actually pretty good. Like, I really like it. I do feel like this series is still just getting started, which is crazy because it's like 50 chapters in. Like, it's just starting to expand on the world. I know this is a 700 plus chapter series, but wow, like, wow, I don't know. This is just gonna be such an action-packed journey, I can already tell. Who are these new people? I don't even remember the old people's names, and now we already got new characters? Oh my God, I'm so cooked.
Now, before we move on to the Soul Society arc, you might be saying I'm forgetting a couple of people. Yeah, you're right. This is Kisuke and Yorichi, and the best way to describe these 2 characters is one of them is a chaotic god, and the other one is a cat.
This is a very, very, very detailed drawing of a cat.
These 2 are honestly the most confusing characters that the story has introduced so far. I knew Kisuke especially was the character that had immense amount of aura because so many people in my Discord server has him set as their profile picture. So I just knew I needed to keep an eye on him. Kisuke, for whatever reason, mysteriously knew a lot about the Soul Society. Who is this guy? That's just what I was thinking the entire time.
We are currently on volume 8 and volume 9. Never seen either of these 2 characters before, so this is gonna be interesting. Ichigo is currently training with white and green hat dude. This is kind of cool. So Ichigo is having like a little bit of a Batman moment right now where he is stuck in a pit, in the bottom of a pit, and he needs to climb out. He has 72 hours to either become a Soul Reaper and crawl out of there, or die and become a hollow. I'm really excited to see this arc. This feels like it's gonna be like an awesome section in the story. Who is this? What is this? What is going on? Oh, is this the sword? Like, is this Is this character the embodiment of his sword? That might be what it is. Hey, and a little bit of a theory. This guy's name is Bonkai. Chat, what do we think? Am I cooking or what? Oh my god. That is cool. So the green and white hat guy, Kisuke, he is building another portal?
Kisuke opens a portal to the Soul Society, and now it's time for us to start one of the coolest arcs in all of Bleach. The Soul Society arc. And honestly, dude, I have a lot of opinions on this arc. Mainly with the actual Soul Society itself.
These guys need to be fired.
There is actually no way that a group of 15-year-olds and one cat managed to pull off what they did in this arc. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is just absolutely absurd. It genuinely made the Soul Society look like a bunch of bums to me, which is okay if they served as villains for the story, you know, the heroes beating the villains. But these guys were actually good guys the whole time, which I also didn't really expect. It just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth whenever I saw these characters show up in the future. The arc starts off with the group touching down in the outskirts of the Soul Society, where they beat up this guy named Jindanbo. I don't know how to say his name, but he's adorable.
Oh my god, this is incredible.
Jindanbo was like, yeah, I like you guys, and proceeds to open the gate where Ichigo and the gang come face to face with Jin. Ichigo tries to battle Gin, but gets defeated very, very easily. Him and the rest of the group get knocked out of the Soul Society, so now they gotta try to find another way inside. Right off the bat, this arc started off super epic, and Gin, he struck me as such a cool antagonist. I was very excited to see him and Ichigo's eventual rematch, but for the time being, that's not gonna happen. What is gonna happen though? What do we do now? We just got kicked out of there. How do we get back in? The gang heads over to this village where they meet a woman with a very amazing personality.
Wow.
We also meet her brother, Ganju, who just straight up hates Soul Reapers. Honestly, it was kind of hilarious just how many people hated Soul Reapers in this story. But he honestly has a pretty good reason for it, because one of the Soul Reapers, one of the people inside that town, killed his brother, which is such a cool fact. I was genuinely so curious to find out who it was. Maybe it was Jin. I was thinking it was Jin. My first time reading through the story, I honestly, I would have bet some crazy amount of money that it was Jin. Spoiler alert, it was not Jin. The Ichigo squad, plus the cat, plus Ganju get launched out of a cannon and hurl themselves into the Soul Society walls. And this is when the action begins. The group, in that process though, they do end up getting split up. But hey, we can't worry about that right now, because it is time to fight and go and save Rukia.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Lock in, guys, lock in. This is crazy. This is crazy. Hold on. Look, I don't know much about this Bleach series, but I do know one character. One character's name I've just known this whole time. And it's Aizen. Wow, I didn't... No, I'm so... Wait, what? What? Wait, what? Hold on. I thought this guy was... Wait. Oh, now I'm so intrigued.
Listen, guys, being in the anime space for as long as I have, I've obviously heard about Aizen. I've heard whispers about this man, this genius of an individual who...
Oh, by the way, I figured I'd say, just for context, I have no idea what Aizen actually does in the story. I just heard that he's like, he had a plan. He would just be really good at Among Us.
That's all I really knew about him, though. I mean, I knew he was a villain of some kind, but I didn't really know to the extent of like what it was. Was he always evil? Was he a hero that turned into a bad guy? Was he being manipulated, hypnotized, controlled?
Okay, Aizen is kind of like against the Soul Society system. He's asking Renji, like, don't you think this is all kind of messed up? That this girl is gonna be, like, executed? Ooh, Renji is looking to see him. He might become a good guy, honestly. I kind of like him. I can't help but think that someone is behind this.
What is the deal with Aizen? What kind of character is this?
I've just finished volume 9. Time to lock in with volume 10.
Because honestly, right now, when we first got introduced to him, he seems like a pretty good guy. He seems like a guy I could get behind. I was trying to like theorize and figure out what was going on with him. I was thinking he was maybe going to have some kind of like syndrome type arc where he starts off really good, but then he becomes bad. I just had no idea what was in store. And then he died.
Oh my. No. What? Are we supposed to assume that he died?
What? Huh? Crazy moment for sure.
I feel like me knowing that Aizen is like a pivotal character in the future is not a good thing. I'm starting to realize that's like, maybe
Now, in the entirety of the Soul Society arc, there was a lot of fights that went down. It's really great stuff, but mentally, I was just more excited to learn about the underlying story that was at play. What is going on between Jin and Aizen? Also, we got so many scenes of Rukia just coming to terms with her own death in that prison cell. It was really sad to read. I didn't really care for Rukia at first, but after reading this stuff, I genuinely found myself starting to care about her. She's an awesome character. Renji versus Ichigo. This is the first fight so far in the actual arc that I actually found myself grappling onto. This 1v1 was absolutely amazing. I actually disliked Renji's character up until this point.
maybe I was wrong about this guy. I kind of didn't really like this dude when I first encountered him. I didn't really care for him at all. And he was a villain, a part of the Soul Society. I also thought he was just kind of like, I don't know, he didn't really seem that strong or anything. But I got to the end of this volume last night and, well, I saw this. He's begging Ichigo to go and save Rukia. And, you know, a little switch flipped inside of me. Maybe he ain't that bad. Maybe I was wrong about this guy. Maybe he might be, not the GOAT, but honestly, what was his name? Renji? Renji's a little bit of a baller. Not gonna lie. I'm hoping we encounter a stronger individual. There are some stronger characters in the Soul Society, but so far, everyone we've versed so far is straight dog. Dude, I really don't like this guy. Like, this guy he's just so mean.
Ichigo is revealed to have plot armor in the form of this hollow mask that is being generated on his person whenever he battles.
That mask looks like a hollow's. What are you doing with it, Mr. Ichigo? Interessante.
Ichigo runs into one of the goats, Kenpachi. This guy is fucking crazy. He feels like Trevor from GTA, just an absolute lunatic that will do anything to win. He beats up Ichigo, which honestly, I was really happy about because this dude is deadass one of the strongest people in the Soul Society. So if Ichigo managed to defeat him, what does that say about everybody else? I mean, remember, Ichigo literally got his powers like 2 months ago, and he's also 15. And these guys have been Soul Reapers for how many years now?
Okay, I don't really know what's about to happen here. Ichigo has lost, but his sword, the spirit of his sword has appeared. Do you want to fight? Obviously, Ichigo is going to say yes. I am so curious what's about to happen right now.
Ichigo proceeds to get the shonen main character internal dialogue section with his sword and this white Ichigo.
Whoa. What is this? It's white Ichigo. Oh, what? Huh? No, I'm so confused. What is this white Ichigo, dude? Is this guy in the story because Ichigo almost became a hollow? What? Oh, dude, this is so fascinating.
And then he awakens, and then he ties. And this honestly kind of irked me. Even now, it kind of frustrates me a little bit. Ichigo is deadass just way too strong for no reason. I just feel like it's a little undeserved. Like, dude, he just started being a Soul Reaper. I get that his spiritual presence is like off the charts, but also, how does he even know how to swing a sword? And in the comment section, I swear to God, don't tell me because he's him, okay? Because I don't like that answer. Yes, up until this point in the story, we've had many training arcs and sections showing off his skills, of him getting stronger, but I still really wish we got something a little bit more fleshed out. Just something to really showcase Ichigo actually learning what it takes to win in battle. I'm probably in a minority of people when I say this, but I never really felt the stakes all too much whenever Ichigo was in battle, because it just felt like the story just continuously shaped him up to be that guy. Throughout the entire story, I don't even know what it was. I just never really felt that Ichigo's character was all that relatable. I just always felt disconnected from him. Ganju finds Rukia, which is pretty epic. Rukia is the one that killed Ganju's brother.
There is no way. Oh my god, that's such a cool twist. She's the Soul Reaper who killed my brother. I'm actually like kind of disappointed in myself for not predicting that. That feels so obvious. Wow, that is so cool. But why?
We get a better understanding of why Rukia killed Ginyu's brother. It's actually quite a solid explanation. I forgive her. He got hollowified, which pretty much means he got possessed by the hollow that was within him. Rukia killed him not out of anger or because she wanted to, but because honestly she had to. I really like this storyline a lot, and it made me connect with Rukia's character just a lot more.
Yorochi the cat has saved Ichigo. Now, the cat is going to be showing her actual form, her true form. I don't think I'm allowed to show this on YouTube. This is what we're gonna do. So I don't think I'm allowed to show this on YouTube unless I go like this. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh my god, wow, it's a woman.
This arc is amazing. There's two women with really great personalities here.
God damn it, dude. What the fuck is this? That's really cool that she is a woman, I guess. Go women. I'm still really confused who she and Kisuke, like, how do these two play a role in this whole thing, dude?
Ichigo leaves.
That's really cool. That's really cool. That's really cool, dude. And Ichigo is officially cooked. I think he's gonna die.
And then he gets his butt kicked, and then the cat proceeds to save him again, which leads to this mini training arc where Ichigo goes and learns the Bankai.
Dude, he's gonna do Bankai. I don't know what it is, but I know it's iconic.
The Bankai is one of the most iconic words in the Bleach series. I knew about this phrase. I didn't know what it meant, to be completely honest with you.
Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to day 4 of reading all of Bleach. We're currently on volume 18. Last night I finished volume 17. We had some pretty cool moments, in all honesty. This dude is talking to a monkey. This is for Captain Aizen. What? It was the kid? Okay, so finally we are getting information on Yorichi and Kisuke. They used to be a part of the Soul Society. Characters are starting to use their Bankai, which I thought it was just going to be like a really powerful sword slash, but apparently it's like an ultimate ability in a video game. It varies depending on character to character. Some of them are able to like summon stuff. Others are able to create a domain where it's just pitch black. It adds a completely new element to the fights in Bleach that I think is actually really cool. Ichigo is about to learn how to do the Bankai, which we don't know if he's managed to do it yet, but obviously he's going to. Rukia is about to get executed. A lot of the characters are fighting one another. This whole Soul Society system is so stupid. Like, I like all the characters and I like the arc, but Jesus Christ, the fact that these guys turned on each other like that, come on now. All these people are really just thinking about themselves. So anyway, let's get started here. We are currently on chapter 150.
Renji has also now locked in, and we get this amazing moment where someone now asks him to go and save Rukia. And he says he will. Oh my god! Ultimately, though, this isn't his story, and he gets outshined by Ichigo.
I don't know what is happening right now. Ah, dude, shut the hell up. Ah, that's so cool.
Right before Rukia is gonna get executed, this dude flies in and hits one of the craziest aura farming poses I have ever seen. This dude does not need to be doing all of this. He does not. Get down from there.
Nah, that was the coolest way for him to appear. Man. Got me smiling. This is so sick, dude. Why is he wearing a cloak? He kind of looks like Piccolo. Okay, and it's time for the rematch between these two.
Ichigo starts battling Rukia's brother. It's a very cool battle.
Show me your Bankai. Oh my god, dude, it's coming. This is it. This is it. At the turn of this page, I am going to know what Ichigo's Bankai is. And I'm hoping it's not just like some lame sword slash, or like he just shoots a projectile or something.
I don't really like Ichigo's Bankai.
This is a very iconic panel. I've seen this panel before.
It's just way too simple, man. I'm a little bummed. When Ichigo activates his Bankai, he gets a smaller sword and he moves really fast. Renji, for example, his Bankai is way cooler. And he gets to talk to a monkey. Why couldn't Ichigo talk to a monkey?
Okay, this battle is kind of cool. Ichigo is like, at this point, he's just playing with his food. He is a speed demon right now. And it's sick.
They both unleash their Bankais. The Hollow Mask manifests on top of Ichigo during the battle.
This just got so much cooler. Wait. So fascinating. So interesting. Sorry about the interruption. Let's start over.
Oh my god, the character designs in the series are so cool.
What is going on? Okay, so this dude is bipolar.
Rukia's brother admits defeat. All is well. The arc is over, but it's actually not.
My thought process, right, is like, where do you go from here? Ichigo is going to have to be fighting stronger people from here on in the next couple of arcs. So he's going to be fighting Hollows and probably Quincy's. And like, if he's already kicking the Soul Society's butt, how is he going to kick Quincy's butts? Because Quincy's were all supposed to be eliminated already by the Soul Society, meaning that the Soul Society people are stronger than the Quincy's. And then also, if he's fighting Hollows, the Soul Society is supposed to be the ones defeating the Hollows. So like, how is the Soul Society the weakest part of this entire power system? Does that make sense? Obviously, he hasn't fought all of them. There's probably other people in the Soul Society that are a lot stronger. But so far, he's done a really good job against like 50% of them.
The Supreme Court of the Soul Society is revealed to be dead.
Whoa.
Someone amongst all this chaos has been secretly pulling the strings from the darkness.
Every single order that the Soul Society has been getting, that was all just fake news. Wait, what? No way. I'm not even prepared to start recording. I don't have my mic or anything in. That's why the audio sounds a little weird. I just opened it up to this random page right here. And that's Aizen. Did he not die?
It was Isaac. He's not dead.
Dang it, dude. No. Dude. Wait, so is Aizen the one that killed the council? No way. No. 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 What the heck was that, dude?
He faked his own death, and Jin is his ally.
What is going on? They're teammates. I guess we're a team. Wow. The enemies to lovers trope.
And they kick Ichigo's butt.
Oh my god, somebody grab a reboot card.
Aizen proceeds to explain why he did what he did.
Leave Rukia here and go. Why do you want Rukia? So the reason he was able to get away with faking his death is because his sword is able to look like him. That is genuinely the most convenient way this whole thing could have played out. What? Okay. Sure.
He came in, he just completely outsmarted the entire Soul Society. He grabs the device that he needed that was located inside of Rukia. Says honestly one of the coldest lines in the entire series.
From now on, I will stand at the top. Oh my god. This dude is the GOAT. What the heck? This is so sick. Oh, hell nah. What? That was sick.
And then he dips.
So this whole time, they were looking at a dead Aizen body and freaking out, and it was dead ass a sword. Dude, this Soul Society has to be home to some of the dumbest motherfuckers. Okay, like, look, I don't mean to be a hater, but genuinely, what is with this group, bro? Half of them are fighting one another. One of them faked their death by hypnotizing the others. There's a bunch of little kids running around, and they all pretty much got slapped by a bunch of 15-year-olds. This is literally ridiculous, dude.
Oh my god, what a crazy ending to the arc. All around, this arc is pretty awesome.
Dude, they got gamered. They got gamered like crazy. Oh my god. They got so outplayed. Wow. Dude. So he's the main villain of the series? Is that it? Is this where Bleach peaks though? Like, I hope it's not all downhill from here. There's like 700 of these chapters. It better not fall off, dude. It better keep getting good. That was crazy. That was a good arc. Oh my god.
So far, we finished about a third of Bleach, and honestly, I was just super excited to see what was next for the series.
I've been sitting here for like 10 minutes processing that whole arc. Now we're on volume 21.
The Arankar arc. Or Arankar, I don't know how to say this.
Hello, ladies and gents. How are we doing today? I'm in a bit of a different location today. I'm at a family friend's house. Everybody is inside, but today, I'm outside just chilling. Look at me. Just chilling. And now I did figure that I would get some free time on my hands, and well, what do you know? I did. So I brought a couple of the Bleach volumes with me. We are currently on volume 22. I finished volume 21 last night while I was in bed. Didn't feel like recording myself because that's weird. Why do you want to see me in my bed? You're weird, not me. Anyway, listen. The thing is, I should have probably recorded it because, wow, so much has happened.
This arc has an incredible beginning. This might be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but I actually like the more grounded sections in Bleach a lot more than the hyper absurd shonen fantasy-like moments where characters are flying around fighting each other with swords. I kind of just like the day-to-day stuff of getting to know Ichigo and the group and just seeing whatever wacky shenanigans was happening in their hometown.
Also, Ichigo's dad is apparently a Soul Reaper.
Why is this dude's dad a Soul Reaper? Huh? I don't like this. This honestly felt like the most random thing that could have happened, and genuinely, I think it just got added to the story just for some shock factor.
Look, I like it. I think it's cool. I also had a feeling deep down, but there's also a lot of moments where it feels like he should have revealed his powers already, and he didn't. I'm kind of giving the author a chance to like cook, right? Because low-key, I don't like how random it is that Ichigo's dad is a Soul Reaper.
I know as the story progresses, the father, he plays a bigger role in the entire story. But what is this reveal, man? Even now to this day, I still kind of just feel really weird about this reveal. It was just very random. I know that the story gives some type of explanation for why he wasn't using his powers earlier, but I don't like it. I just felt like it was really random, very thrown in. Didn't feel like it was planned from the very beginning. Also, it just makes me rethink the first chapter of the series completely. You literally almost let your family die.
Anyway, yeah, we're going to start off in this next volume right over here. and I'll let you know what I think.
At the beginning of the arc, we meet two very important groups. The first one being the Visored. This is a group of individuals who have that holification stuff inside of them, except they have understood how to control it, and they are looking to recruit a new member to their group, which is Ichigo. Honestly, I didn't really care to pay attention to these guys at first. They just kind of showed up randomly and started getting a lot of screen time for whatever reason. It took me a little bit to get really comfortable with them and excited for whenever this group appeared. I do really love this group though, and honestly the thing that sold me on them was when we got that arc about them in the past. But that section happens way later on in the story. We're not there yet. We're gonna stop talking about them for now. Let's talk about the other group, which is the Arancars. Now this is a team of advanced hollows that Aizen has put together to take down the Soul Society. They are an incredibly powerful group. Out of the bunch, there's like 3 of them that I genuinely think are some of the coolest characters in the entirety of the Bleach story. And there's also one of them that I think just has stupid amounts of aura. For people who have already seen the series, it's probably very easy to guess who those people are. Uliquaro is here, and I know that this is a fan favorite character.
Oh, okay. Is he a hollow?
He is a part of Team Aizen, and he's here with the goal of killing Ichigo. So they start battling, and then he leaves. He just leaves. That type of interaction happens way too many times in this arc.
Okay, so there's like a group of people walking into this high school right now. I have a feeling that this page flip is gonna be pretty crazy. Yep, it is pretty crazy. Why? Why are they here? No way. Look who's back. No, that's aura farming. She's aura farming. She don't need to be doing all this. Everybody else walked in through the front door. Why'd she come in through the window?
The Soul Reapers were here, which was pretty cool, but I was kind of confused as to why these specific ones were here. I felt like there was a lot cooler options we could have had. Some of these characters I'm not really the biggest fan of.
So you decided he wasn't worth killing. Yes, sir.
The main reason that Uliquaro had dipped was because he deemed Ichigo to be too weak to be even worth killing, which I honestly just find to be a really weird excuse. Bro is just aura farming in front of Lord Aizen for no reason.
This guy. Oh my god, wait a minute. Do you see this guy right here?
Grimmjow is a new character that we meet, and he is not rocking with that answer. He thinks that Uliquaro is playing it too soft, and that Ichigo, and anyone with spiritual presence for that matter, should be killed.
Ooh, okay, so Grimmjow and Ulquiorra are not homies, for real. They don't really like each other.
I kind of really like this guy, especially because as the arc progresses, he starts taking matters into his own hand. He opens a portal and he goes after Ichigo.
Oh my god. What is going on? It's Grimmjow. Oh my god. He might just be the GOAT. He's ganking the enemy before they're even ready. Oh my god, what a genius. I'm kind of hyped. I don't know who this guy is, but I'm kind of hyped.
Now this fight is super epic, but it also gets cut short, which was really annoying. At least this wasn't the last time we get to see him. Grimmjow was honestly this standout character in this entire section. I absolutely loved him. I just thought he was such a ridiculous character, constantly hell-bent on just wanting to fight Ichigo for no reason. He just wants to. Ichigo, after claiming he lost to Grimmjow, cuts communications with every single person in his life that cares about him and proceeds to train with Shinji and the rest of the Visored people so that he can control his hollow powers. This is low-key super sick. The Arancars are now here, pulling up for the 3rd time, and they start battling, which is awesome, but then the battles get cut short again, and they dip, but this time with Orihime.
So many amazing and spectacular moments have happened in this volume, but the end? Are you serious? Are you serious? No way. No way. Oh, dude, this is bad.
This is getting a little repetitive, and it's kind of pissing me off. 3 times the story has edged us. The Arancars just come in, they beat up Ichigo, and then they leave. They did that 3 times, and on the 3rd time, they stole his girl. This has to be one of the most disrespectful things I've ever read in any manga, period. What the hell am I reading, man? So now, Ichigo, the Quincy, and Chad decide it's time to go do something about this Aizen guy and the rest of the Arancars. Speaking of Aizen, he wants to nuke Ichigo's hometown, which is just absurd. Out of all the places he could have chosen, he deadass wants to do there? For real? Fair enough. Game is game. You sent your lackeys over to beat him up 3 times, and then you also stole his girl. That isn't enough for you? That isn't enough? Aizen is just such a silly guy. Now, the entirety of this arc involves our group splitting up and taking on different battles, trying to find Orihime and rescuing her. Honestly, didn't we just read an arc super similar to this? Everything about the Arankar arc and the Soul Society arc is completely different, but the core objective is genuinely the exact same thing. And as a result, I think it caused me to just enjoy this arc less than I wanted to.
Current arc that we're on, I think it's fun. I don't think it's really doing anything spectacular, if I'm gonna be honest.
To switch things up though, so that these arcs aren't a complete copy and paste, we had a couple of good guy hollows accompanying the crew, but I saw them more as an inconvenience rather than something that was actually fun. I don't really like these guys, except for Nell. Oh my god, she is literally the best character in the entire arc besides Grimjow. And if you say anything negative about her, then I will find you and I will. Now listen, the Soul Society was not going to go and help Ichigo and the rest of the gang in defeating Aizen because they were ordered to defend the hometown, which honestly I was really okay with. But then as the arc progresses, they slowly just started showing up, and I didn't really think that was cool. It felt more like a convenient way to build up hype for the arc rather than one that honestly made any sense. I was more than happy with just seeing Ichigo, Chad, and the Quincy get a real chance to shine and fight for Orihime, because honestly, this is their homie, right? Like, it makes sense that they're the ones fighting for her. It felt a lot more heartfelt, it felt a lot more special. But then as the arc progressed, the original trio just gets outshined by all these other characters, and honestly, I was just very disappointed by that. But I will say the battle with Rukia coming face to face with the Hollow disguised as the dude that she killed, that was honestly so cool. So freaking cool. Orihime gets freed, not by Ichigo or any of the homies, but by Grimjow, which was honestly a genuine surprise.
Whoa, what is going on? Okay, so Orihime is being beat up by two little kids, and Grimjow is now here to do something.
He brings her over to Ichigo and demands she heals him.
Man, what is this manga panel, dude? That's so cool.
Which Ichigo says, no. Orihime, why don't you heal both of us? Which is like genuinely so stupid, but so awesome at the same time.
Holy snap. Oh my god. Grimjow, you're so cool. Continued in Bleach 32. Man, which one is that? Which one is that? This one, right here. Boom. Let's keep going.
They start fighting, and I absolutely love this battle.
This fight is so cool. This fight is so cool. This fight is so cool. Whoa, what the hell? Grimjow can also evolve? What is this? In the middle of this battle, we're getting some Grimjow backstory. Apparently, he started off at like the bottom of the food chain, and he worked his way up by consuming other people in his class. It's really interesting. Grimjow is like the rags to riches self-made millionaire. It's kind of cool. I really like Grimjow, dude.
Honestly, this is my favorite battle in the entire series. That honestly might be an incredibly shocking statement to some of the people at home, but honestly, guys, I don't think you're realizing just how much shit this dude got on. I mean, look at him. This guy is so cool.
I thought the battle was over.
So it just really pissed me off when this banana face looking dude just comes in and cuts the battle short.
What just happened? What just happened? Is it Oliquoro? No. No, it's this guy. I don't like this guy.
Now Ichigo has to deal with this new guy, except he doesn't. Nell ends up evolving and becomes a woman.
A former Espada. This little girl? Are you serious? What are you talking about? She's lost her memory. What's going on? Oh my god. She's a grown woman. I don't know if I feel comfortable about this character design. 2 seconds ago, she was literally a child.
And she kicks this dude's butt.
Unironically, she's probably my favorite part of this entire arc, aside from Grimjow. She is so cool.
Genuinely one of the coolest twists in the entire story. I really loved it. Aizen is on his way to Ichigo's hometown, and Oliquoro versus Ichigo is about to begin. This also marks the end of my first week reading through the series.
Right over here is every single volume of Bleach we still need to read. It's a lot. Volumes 36 all the way up to volume 74. We are halfway through this challenge, and technically not halfway through all of the volumes. Oh my god. Oh, dude.
Bleach is not what I expected it to be. But honestly, it's not a bad thing. But then, starting off week 2 though, the story proceeds to do something I just did not expect.
I don't really know where the story is gonna go from here. I'm just kind of excited to see what Aizen has cooking up, not gonna lie. This right here is volume 36. Last time we ended off with Oliquoro and Ichigo locking eyes with one another. I'm opening this volume. Why is everybody grayed out? What is going on?
We now pause what we're doing right now and take 1 step back to move 2 steps forward.
The pendulum swings, then swings back. 110 years ago. What?
We get a backstory of the Soul Society, where we see Kisuke, Yoriichi, Aizen, Shinji, and a bunch of other characters who are important to the story of Bleach. I was so confused on what was going on, but also just so freaking intrigued, dude.
Dude. We are getting, this is an Aizen backstory. This dude has been alive for over 110 years. Wait, no, that's not, sorry. I don't think that's actually crazy.
I was all for continuing to read the battles in Bleach, but it was all starting to also get to be a lot. Honestly, I was just looking for a bit of a break. Directly after this look into the past arc, we also just get bombarded with a bunch more battles. So I think it was really smart for the author to just pause the narrative and drop this in just to give us a little bit of a breather. It also just added so much extra context that we really needed for this story.
I can just tell this backstory is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see what happens.
We also finally just got explanation for these two characters, which I just genuinely felt like we needed. They've been here since the beginning of the story, and we're about halfway through the series.
So I've reached the end of the volume, and it looks like Aizen was an evil bastard even 100 years ago. He's been planning something for over 100 years now, apparently. We just finished the 36th volume. Now it's time to move on to the 37th one. I'm super happy that we even got something like this in the story. I was gonna start complaining about Bleach. Oh my god, he's gonna start complaining about Bleach. Yeah, I just felt like it was a lot of fights and not a lot of getting to know the characters on like a deeper level, if that makes any sense. I really just wanted to know more about this world, and I felt like a lot of these characters that we were getting shown were just so fascinating. Like I felt like they needed backstories and more development. But every single thing we were getting with each one of the characters, we would get like 1 or 2 pages explaining their backstory, and then they would like die. Or we would get some reveal that they're like evil. And it just wasn't really that cool. It just felt like, okay, nothing is really being built up. Everything is just kind of explanation, and then here's the result. Right next to each other. Oh my god, isn't that crazy? No. Everything so far is just really interesting. I'm really curious how long this backstory stuff is going to be. Yeah, let's just move on. Let's just move on to the next volume. Volume 37. It looks like we got 3 more chapters of the past. Here we go. Let's knock these out.
For me, reading through manga, I will always appreciate a good story over reading flashy fight sequences. So this was nice.
Oh my god, this makes sense. This dude didn't just leave. He was gonna be sentenced to that prison. All that stuff that Aizen did, he blamed it on Kisuki. Oh, this is so cool. We are back to present day. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's the type of stuff that I was waiting for the story to do. Good job. W writing.
Anyway, now let's read some more flashy fight sequences. Actually, let's not, because I didn't really find myself invested in, honestly, any of these. At this point in the story, I was still a mega hater of the Fraud Society, and all the cool characters from that society I liked were stuck in Hueco Mundo. So we just got an onslaught of battles that kind of bored me with a bunch of characters I didn't really care about. Except for this one with Stark. I actually really like this dude.
Oh, this guy's icy. Oh, this guy looks sick. Oh, that's pretty cool.
And I found myself rooting for him even though he was on the enemy team. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is about to be probably the most controversial opinion in the entire video. Ichigo versus Uliquoro.
I'm assuming that this is the dope volume. The big climactic battle between Ichigo and this dude takes place.
We're here. This is it. This is the big fight that was being teased practically this entire arc. And after reading through the entirety of volume 40 and 41, it is safe to say I do not really care about this fight. Which is a real shame, because I really, really wanted to. There was just a part of me that felt like there was no real stakes here whatsoever. I knew Ichigo was going to win, not because he was the main character, but because he had to still fight Aizen. Also, Orihime, we find out in this arc, her abilities are just super busted. She's able to reverse space-time and heal practically anything that's broken. So having her just on the sidelines, this little pocket healer, ready to jump in case anything happens, I don't know, it just kind of lowered the stakes for me. Didn't make me feel as scared for Ichigo's life. It didn't ruin the fight completely for me. Both Uliquoro and Ichigo going into these altered forms during the battle was fun to see.
Oh. Bow now, now, now. Bow now, now, now. What is this, dude? What is this? Gear 5 Ichigo.
I think Uliquoro's whole desire to also understand what a heart is really fascinating to read about as well. But overall, I just walked away from this fight thinking it was memorable, but it just was not for me. I do think the Grimmjow fight is a lot cooler, mainly because I also just think Grimmjow is a lot cooler of a character than Uliquoro.
Alrighty, what is today? Day 9? There's a little bit of diversity on my shelf right now. There's a bunch of yellow volumes, and then all of a sudden, they become red. I think it'd be pretty cool if today we knocked out all the yellows, so that for the remaining 5 days of this challenge, we would just focus on the red volumes, which my comment section has gratefully let me know that that is the entirety of the 1,000-year Blood War arc. We are now on volume 42, and we have about, what, 7 volumes to get through? This is pretty exciting. Volume 48 has Aizen, so this is like what the entire series has kind of felt like it's been building up to. Wonder if we're gonna get a cool payoff.
At this point, we had a couple of volumes till we got to the Aizen stuff. Getting there was some pretty cool moments that happened.
Honestly, dude, I've low-key been sleeping on Toshiro. Just because he's a child, I kind of tossed him to the side, but this dude has immaculate aura. He might be one of the coolest guys in the entire Soul Society.
Stark, as I mentioned earlier, was the standout character for me.
Bro, is this like a Game of Thrones reference? I don't understand. This dude's name is literally Stark, and he got a bunch of direwolves around him. This is kind of cool.
Seeing these people also being unleashed into the battle was just also so cool to read about.
What kind of ability is it? Welcome to the Upside Down world. Hey guys, welcome to the Upside Down world where everything here is upside down. Isn't this crazy? We're in the Upside Down world, everybody.
I definitely prefer this group over the Soul Society, especially because the Fraud Society decides to jump Aizen and has one of the craziest fumbles I have ever seen.
I have just witnessed one of the dumbest fucking things ever. I don't care that it was Aizen's plan. I am a Soul Society hater. How do they keep falling for this, bro? I'm literally like reading this and I'm like, dude, this, oh my God, they're so cooked. They're so cooked. Like, dude, it's Aizen. They're versing Aizen. And they're like, oh, dude, we did it. We did it. But Ichigo's also dumb as fuck for not just saying anything. Like, guys, that's not Aizen. The Soul Society is dumb. Let me take over. I understand why Aizen's doing what he's doing. I would do the same thing.
Dude, they're actually getting demolished by Aizen. But now, anyway, here we are. Ichigo versus Aizen.
It looks like the battle is beginning. I kind of don't really know who I'm rooting for, not gonna lie.
It's a spectacular fight. This really did feel high stakes in my eyes. And also, weirdly enough, it reminds me a lot of the ending of Full Metal Alchemist. I love the writing for Aizen. I genuinely think he's one of the best written characters in the entire series. Bro genuinely had me so nervous because he kept talking about Ichigo's life and how all of it was planned by him. Oh my God, what the heck?
Don't raise your voice, Ichigo Kurosaki. You shouldn't be surprised. I was merely certain that you'd make the best research subject, so I assisted you in your development. That's all I'm saying. Didn't you think it strange that you, who'd never seen a hollow in your life, should be attacked by one right after you met Rugia Kuchi? What? Wait.
It was honestly really freaky. I didn't know if this was like a bluff that he was just saying to get inside of Ichigo and the reader's head, or if this was actually true. But also that fact, I think, just makes it even more scarier.
I've known you from the moment you were born. Okay, come on. Come on. Like, what are we reading?
I was freaked out. Ichigo was freaked out. But our nerves got calmed down because Ichigo's dad is here.
Oh. Dad, is that you?
He gets Ichigo, has a little bit of a heart-to-heart with him, telling him to focus. I know I was hating on him being a Soul Reaper earlier on in the series. I do still think it's a very awkward inclusion, but this moment right here made me ease up on my opinion a little bit more, because this was really nice to see.
We have 2 more volumes left in this arc before the volumes start turning red.
Now here's something I really didn't expect. Amongst all the chaos and the battling, I honestly saw no possible way that Aizen was going to get defeated. This man is a genius. He's accounted for everything, except for this. Jin. Well, I guess he kind of did, but also, I don't know. He thought he could trust Jin, but he can't. Jin this whole time has been secretly working to figure out Aizen's weakness and betray him. Aizen has been planning everything for over 100 years at this point, and Jin has been doing the same as well. This twist came out of nowhere, and it was awesome. I loved every second of it, right up until his final moments when he becomes content with dying. He looks at Ichigo and smiles, thinking, okay, yeah, you got it from here. You look stronger now. Jin is awesome. Jin is a really cool character. Anyway, now it's time for the main event, Ichigo versus Aizen. This is a lot shorter of a battle than I would have liked, honestly. With just how much this moment was hyped up in the story, you would think it would be longer, but no. No. Ichigo starts off the battle in one of the coolest ways ever, and then it's just about like 3-ish chapters of just classic shonen shenanigans. I get stronger, you get stronger. And then it ends with Ichigo and Kisuke just defeating Aizen. And yeah, that was it. It was just kind of underwhelming. Honestly, the build up to the fight was just way cooler than the actual fight. Aizen, for whatever reason, isn't sentenced to death.
Why wouldn't you just kill this guy?
Which I just think is another mistake that the Fraud Society continuously seems to make in this story. Ichigo has also lost his powers, which I don't believe for a second is the direction that the story is going in at all.
Bro, that's cap. He's gonna get his powers back in the next volume.
And now we are moving on to the Red manga. I was really confused at first why the series just becomes red, and then people in my comment section told me that this is when the 1,000-Year Blood War arc begins. You guys are a couple of liars. This is not when the 1,000-Year Blood War begins.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to day 3 of the second week of this challenge. We're currently on volume 49. Oh, whoa, this is so cool. The first chapter. It looks like it's starting off the same way the actual first chapter of Bleach started off.
To get to the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, which is an arc that is coming, we have to first get through this tiny little Fullbringers arc. Dude, this is the best arc in Bleach.
I am absolutely adoring the start of this arc. I think this is probably going to be my favorite arc. I just have a feeling. I'm liking how everything is being set up right now. The Fullbringers, that concept being explored more in the story. It's fascinating.
The Fullbringers arc was so different from the rest of Bleach, and I absolutely loved it. First of all, it just felt a lot more grounded, which I actually think works a lot more for this kind of story. Also, Ichigo not having powers allowed for us to really focus in on him as a person. I really felt like I got to know Ichigo as a character a lot more than I did earlier on in the story. Also, the cast of Fullbringers was just such a treat. Each one of them was just such a fun addition to the story.
A lot of the new characters that we're meeting, I really like. This girl and her ability being one of them. I'm still struggling with a lot of the names, I can't lie. There's just so many characters in Bleach to keep track of, and they just come in and out of the story really, really fast. So
the story was actually just cooking throughout the entire arc. This group approaches Ichigo with the promise of helping him get his Soul Reaper powers back.
Bro, what is this Mighty Morphin Power Ranger freaking power up that this dude got? What the heck is this, man?
Simultaneously, while this is happening though, Ichigo and the gang are under threat by a guy who can insert himself into your past memories, making you think he's a friend rather than an enemy. As the arc progresses, Ichigo is faced not only with this feeling of helplessness, not being able to stop this guy, but also having his buddies slowly turn against him.
Oh my. Orihime and Chad are protecting him, and she's healing him. Oh, dude, this is such a cool arc.
Also, that group of Fullbringers that has been helping out Ichigo this entire arc is actually bad guys.
Oh, it was him. I'm actually really bummed that these guys are bad guys. I actually really like these characters.
So Ichigo is practically on his own. The whole reason they were even helping Ichigo was so they could eventually steal his powers, which they do. This arc was genuinely so different from everything else we have read so far, and I think it genuinely is the best arc in all of Bleach.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. Oh my god.
Now let's talk about the worst arc in all of Bleach.
The 1,000-Year Blood War arc.
Man, I really wanted to like this one.
I'm really excited about this arc.
But I just didn't. Ichigo, after reacquiring the Soul Reaper powers, finds out that this guy isn't actually the only Quincy that there is. In fact, there is an army of them, ready to invade and take over the Soul Society.
I was right. Look at this. Look at this. It's a Quincy. It only took 400 plus chapters, but we have another one.
First of all, I was right. There is more than one Quincy. I'm goated. In hindsight, though, I should have realized that the 1,000-Year Blood War arc was a story arc about Quincy's, because it just makes sense when you really think about the name. I don't know why. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. Anyway, leader of this group is this man called Yawatch, which is honestly, he's a really awesome villain.
Okay, I don't know who this guy is, but he's on the cover, so I'm assuming he's pretty fire.
His character design is frankly one of my personal favorites in the series. In his demeanor, it is horrifying. I think the thing that had me the most hype though when going into this arc was finding out his connection to Ichigo.
Please save the Soul Society. Ichigo Kurosaki.
You guys remember what the embodiment of Ichigo's sword looks like? Yeah, there's a reason it looks like Yawatch. This is so sick.
It seems you know nothing about yourself, not even about your own mother. What? Ichigo Kurosaki's mom is a freaking Quincy? Dude, no, wait. Wait, but that would mean what would what does that mean?
Ichigo is like, you watch his great, a lot of great grandson. Yes, we already found out in the story that his father is a Soul Reaper, but what we never found out was that his mom is a Quincy, which is actually just such an awesome revelation.
Ooh, we're in for a crazy ride.
The backstory info that we got was honestly the highlight of the entire arc for me. Both of them actually, because not only do we find out about Ichigo's mom.
This is crazy. This guy's broken. He's part hollow, part human, part Soul Reaper, part Quincy. This is ridiculous, bro.
But also the origin of Yhwach.
This is one of the weirdest backstories I've ever seen.
I just honestly love the story stuff, man, more than the actual battles. And dude, this arc has a lot of battles. Ichigo and Yhwach's initial encounter was also just incredibly fun to read through, and it brought us one of the coolest panels in all of Bleach.
Ooh, there's that iconic panel.
I really like this one. The Quincy's are also just a real threat to be afraid of because they have the ability to steal the Soul Reaper's Bankais and use it against them. I was genuinely so hyped for this inclusion. It really just felt like the stakes of this arc were on a higher level than we have ever seen before in the entirety of Bleach.
Oh! Has he been a bad guy the whole time? Has he been? No way. This story is cooking.
Not only can the good guys not use their ultimate ability, but also,
I'm assuming that since this is the final arc, the author is not going to be scared in killing off its characters. I actually think we're going to start getting some major character deaths.
No, it's not really at all what happens, because the Soul Reapers end up just figuring out a way to get their Bankais back by just taking drugs.
I've completed the method to regain Bankai. Crazy.
And also, practically nobody dies. Which is just like really upsetting, man. Why don't you just kill these guys, dude? I'd have been fine with like 7 of them dying.
I don't know what day it is. Let's keep going.
This made the entire arc feel like there wasn't going to be any real crazy twists, and that everything that I thought was going to happen is exactly what was going to happen. I was really hoping, though, that I was wrong and that the story was going to pull out some kind of plot twist that was going to make me feel like, what? That's crazy. I didn't think that was going to happen. Like, we get a ton of different battles from the Soul Society members fending off against all the Quincy's.
Am I even still reading Bleach anymore? What the hell is happening? Why did Thor from Asgard show up? This guy is in the wrong series.
My personal favorites were Kenpachi battling this Imagination Man.
What is going on with the Soul Society, man? Why are they all of a sudden locking in? This is like the coldest thing we have seen in Bleach. Because I'm Kenpachi. Oh my god. That's so cool. Anyway, you should subscribe to this channel because I am Teniz.
Rukia activating her Bankai. That was another really cool moment.
This is cool. This is cool. Rukia has locked in. She's locked in. I felt like she was goated at the beginning of the series, and then she fell off low-key. But she's back. Oh my god. That was a magnificent Bankai. Also, at the beginning of the series, I was a hater of these two's dynamic. Brother is a lot better now. I really like the bond these two have.
And then also, I just really like seeing Shinji just be Shinji whenever the story showed us more of Shinji. I really liked it. I just really liked Shinji. I also thought that this kid's Bankai that just turns him into an older version of himself was really funny. I really liked it. It was really charming.
I'm honestly like a little confused how we still have like 6 volumes left. We're on volume 69, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know. I think I'm a little underwhelmed. I feel like for this final arc, yeah, the stakes are the highest they've ever been, but I just don't quite feel like it's cooked just about yet.
Weirdly enough, a bunch of fan favorite characters also start appearing in the section of the story as well. 2 of them being Grimjow and Nell.
Why are you here? Why are you here? I didn't think we would ever see you again. Oh my god. The 6'7" nonchalant blue hair guy. Oh my god. I hope he just starts fighting Ichigo. That was like one of my favorite parts about this dude. Just whenever he would see Ichigo, he would just, it was on sight, bro. Nell is here too. Oh my god. Top 2. Top 2.
What are these guys doing here? They honestly didn't really do much. I honestly think they just got added for fun and for shock factor. Also, a bunch of the Fullbringers reappear into the story.
What? What? She's alive? Dude!
I really like these characters, so I was really happy that they were here.
It's like all my favorite characters. This is crazy.
But also, how are they, like, didn't this girl kill herself?
Did she just kill herself? No, dude. She was awesome.
This is just like a fake out? Really? You just like wanted us to think that this girl jumped off a building and killed herself? You just like that? What? We were just like supposed to assume that she killed herself, and then it's like, oh, I'm not dead. Really? Also, what the heck is going on with Ichigo's sister dressed up as a Soul Reaper? Why does this plotline never go anywhere? I just wanted to bring it up. I didn't know when to bring it up in this video, but what the heck was this?
Hello everyone, we are currently on the final day. We have 4 volumes remaining of Bleach, and then we're done, which is insane to think about. I've heard whispers on the internet about the 1,000-Year Blood War arc being rushed at the very end and not being that good, and that I should probably watch the anime over actually reading the manga. No, I'm just gonna experience the series just like everybody else. And then maybe I'll go and watch the anime. Right now, everything just seems very simple though. It just seems like all that we need to do is just beat your watch, and then and that's it. Story's over. We're done. Ichigo takes over the Soul Society, and Quincy's and Soul Reapers team up, and now they live in harmony, right? That's what I'm assuming happens. I mean, that's like the safest way you could end the story. Kind of uneventful, I know. Obviously, I'm not a writer. But I'm assuming that's not how this whole thing goes, because people say that the ending of Bleach is pretty bad. Let's keep this going.
Aizen gets released by some of the Fraud Society, which I think is one of the dumbest decisions ever.
What?
And your watch approaches him. I was honestly low-key so nervous to see where the story was going to go. I thought the two of them were going to team up, and they were just going to pull out the craziest duo team up I have ever seen.
Farewell, Ichigo. Your resistance was soothing. You can at least perish with the Soul Society.
But no, that's not what happens.
So I appear to you as Ichigo Kurosaki.
Aizen actually ends up teaming up with Ichigo.
Did Aizen just sacrifice himself?
And as a result, Ichigo gets an opening to kill your watch in one of the most unsatisfying ways I have ever seen.
10 years, took some time, but I'd say we bounced back fairly well from that disaster. What do you mean? What? Why do we just time skip?
He just slashes him, and your watch loses. This is one of the worst endings I have probably ever read. It's just horrible. Bleach is pretty cool, but I was just really, really let down by this 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and it takes up a third of the entire story. So, yeah. Directly after this, we get the final chapter, which takes place 10 years later, and barely gives us any type of explanation we would really want. Just didn't really feel satisfying.
I'd like to begin the ceremony to appoint a new captain to the 13 court guards. Oh, aw. That's so cool. Okay, they're cooking.
Orihime and Ichigo have actually gotten together, which is really adorable. I'm actually really happy for these two. I'm really happy that this is a thing that happened in the story. Chad has also gone on to become a pro boxer, which I genuinely think is one of the most unfair things ever. But whatever, bro. Make your money. Game is game, you know? Ichigo, at the very end of the story, is revealed to have a kid. It was just, okay, yeah. Sure, he has a kid. And then apparently Rukia and Renji have a kid as well. Oh, man. This has got to be the craziest thing. Kid's name is Ichika. Like Ichigo and Rukia. But their names are combined to get Ichika. Who's going to tell Renji? I don't want to be the one that does it.
What? Wait, what? That's it? Did I miss something?
Yeah, so Bleach has got to be one of the honestly weirdest experiences I've had reading manga in a really, really long time. I liked it, but then also I didn't. But then also I really did. But then also I didn't. And then I did, and then it just ended really weird. And I don't know, man. It's just like, it's just such a weird series, dude. It's so freaking weird. Also, just to put it out there, Kisuke and Yoriichi have to be some of the most underutilized characters in the entire series. These two characters are literally so cool, and we get so much more screen time on everybody else besides them two. Why? It's such a shame. They only show up for like the end of the arc. On every arc. Walking away from this story, I will say Shinji is definitely my favorite character. He just is. He's so cool. He turned my frown upside down.
Thank you again to MangaMart for providing me with these box sets. MangaMart is genuinely one of the best websites I have found for buying manga for a really good price. They really care about each customer's order and have always packed and shipped my manga in incredible condition. Conditions that I don't really see from any other manga seller. This website is seriously awesome and the people running it are as well. If you're interested in checking them out, I have some links down below with a couple of promo codes you could use. I suggest giving them a look. You might find something that catches your eye. So there you have it. That's the Bleach video. Hopefully you don't hate me for my opinions. Oh God, I'm so nervous to look at the comment section. Thank you for everybody who's made it to this part of the video. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 100K before the end of the year. It's completely up to you. Honestly, watching the video is just enough. I appreciate you for doing that. That's everything though. This video took a really long time to make, and I'm just so happy that people can finally watch it. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Now time to work on the next video.